Welcome to Storytime Slots, everybody, with another video. Got my coffee here, got the camera set up, the lights, the microphone. First and foremost, I want to just thank everybody for watching, commenting, liking Storytime Slots videos. Thank you very much. I got a Storytime Slot story for you today. We are talking today exclusively about Terrance Watanabe. Okay, this video is dedicated to him and his story and what I think about it. We'll get into it, but first, let me just tell you a little bit about the channel changes. I am uploading at 5 p.m. now. So if you haven't caught on to my schedule, if you noticed, I was uploading at 1 o'clock, then 12 o'clock, now 5 p.m. Daily videos here on Storytime Slots, where I alternate content. One slot play casino video, one Storytime Slots, talking, story, strategy, podcast style video. And this is one of them. I'm just experimenting with this new channel, guys. Mind you, this is a new channel still, okay? We haven't really cracked the 3 months mark yet. All right, August 26th was my first video, and now we're November 12th. So I like the way this channel is going, and I have you guys to thank for that. It's all about you guys, man. You guys give me the energy to make videos. Cheers. All right, Terry Watanabe. His story really resonated with me. If you don't know who Terry is, his story is world famous. He gambled away his empire. Okay? $350 million of it. Gambled it away over a course of many years. His story really struck a chord with me. Okay? He was a very successful businessman. I think from Nebraska. He ran a business where, his father taught him the ropes. And all of a sudden, he came into a lot of money. All right? And he was very, very successful. Why his story kind of resonates with me, his story is very extreme. A little bit about him. And this is directly from Wikipedia. Terrance Watanabe is an American businessman and high roller who inherited Oriental Trading Company, a direct merchant of value-priced party supplies, arts and crafts, toys and novelties, and school supplies founded by his father, Harry Watanabe. Terrance is known for successful expansion of his father's business and the large amounts of money he wagered in Las Vegas casinos. Now, he is a child of Japanese immigrants, I think. And I watched a podcast or an interview that was posted about, I would say, a week ago that really, really was so interesting, okay? And he started the interview by saying how he got hooked was he was always gambling at a very small age, but what really got him going, okay, was after he had successfully made a name for himself in business. I'm talking he's worth millions of dollars, all right? He hit 2 jackpots in 10 days. On the same machine, progressives, we're talking, I think, $2.7 million each in a matter of 10 days. 2 progressives, $2.7 million each in a matter of 10 days. That's what really got him going. Okay? Amazing, right? Amazing story. So it says, after selling his company, okay, he sold his company, and all of a sudden he became, I think he sold it for $500 million with the B, $500 million. All right. And by the way, stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to tell you what I really think, what he should have done, but he didn't. He blew it. He blew it up. So it says here, after selling his company, Watanabe became known for his lavish gambling habits in 2007. He was reported to have lost $127 million at Caesar's Palace and the Rio in Las Vegas, after having gambled a total of After having gambled a total of $825 million. He was banned. I wonder why. He was banned from the Wynn Las Vegas for compulsive gambling. He was banned from the Wynn, really? He didn't say this in the podcast. I'm just reading this from the Wikipedia. And according to him, he lost $350 million. This $825 million figure, I don't know where they're getting it from, but still, $350 million? Come on. Watanabe is estimated to have lost... Watanabe is estimated to have lost approximately $204 million. I guess they're factoring in wins, kickbacks, and those kind of things. His games of choice was slots, baccarat, blackjack. Okay. Caesar's Entertainment was fined $225,000 by the New Jersey Gaming Commission for allowing Watanabe to continue gambling in a highly intoxicated state. Wow. Though Watanabe losses occurred in Las Vegas, Caesars alleges that Watanabe was using marijuana and or cocaine and made sexual advances towards employees. Caesar's Rewards created a special tier for him known as the chairman. I remember this. He was such a high roller there. He was like the top gambler there. They made his own special tier with only one member, and that was him. He was the chairman. Basically, he got whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. He lived there. He gambled there. He would fall asleep on the tables there. Whatever he wanted, he would get. 7 stars, chairman tier status. Watanabe received tickets to the Rolling Stones, $12,500 a month for airfare, and $500,000 in credit at the gift stores. I don't even know why they mentioned the tickets to the Rolling Stones. Okay, dude, you could have left that part out. but anyway, I like the Rolling Stones. Don't get me wrong, but it's concert tickets. That's not a big deal. Harris also offered 15% cash back on table losses greater than $500,000, special high-limit games, and other incentives. In 2022, Foundation Media Partners acquired the rights to Watanabe's story. Man, they should really make a movie out of this. He currently is battling bad health. Okay. In 2017, Watanabe announced he had prostate cancer, and he began a GoFundMe campaign to raise $100,000 for the operation. Now, according to this interview that I watched, he doesn't gamble anymore. Okay. They asked him, why'd you do this? Like, why did you do this? And he said that a lot of it had to do with, his father got him into gambling. There was a big age gap from his father to him, a generation of age gap. His father was a lot older than he was, but he started with him. His father was a gambler in Las Vegas, and he grew up in that environment. But all of a sudden, let me tell you something. When you're gambling normally in Las Vegas and you're loving it, right? You're loving this. Think about it. You're just a normal dude. You're starting to have a successful business, always have money. And all of a sudden you come up on this big time sale of your business, $500 million. What does that do to most people? Well, obviously he's going to fill his voids, right? His what's missing in his life. Never had a life partner, never was married. I'm assuming he doesn't have kids. So according to him, he had to fill the void somehow, the loneliness. And he'd use gambling as a means of just numbing the loneliness out. He would feel power. He would feel like a king. People would respect him because people wanted to be around him. He'd said in the interview that, so-called friends, wannabes, they would always hang around with him because of the action. So things like that, He'd have girls, cocaine. He was into drugs. See, I never understood the cocaine thing. A lot of successful people, a lot of celebrities, they get into drugs. I mean, hey, I think of this as like, if I had all that money, right, I would be traveling. I would be just living life, buying sports cars, giving some to charity, going and helping people out. There's so much you could do with that money to make you feel good. Why do you have to resort to cocaine? Why do you have to resort to drugs to make you feel that high, to give you that high? I just never understood people that got into drugs because they were bored. There's so much you can do if you have no financial obligations anymore. And that's just me. I don't know. Maybe I don't have that much money, that kind of money, but I mean, think about it. You can travel. If you love history, you can go read about your favorite cities. Go visit them. Treat gambling as entertainment. Like, gamble sometimes. Buy fancy things. Buy nice houses. Fix them up. Help people. Be a philanthropist. Help people in need. I mean, there's so much you can do instead of like doing drugs, cocaine, and blowing your money, all of it on gambling. He told a story where he actually paid off a casino host's mortgage as a tip. Can you imagine? How lucky is that casino host? And what a story that casino host has to tell. He said that he actually paid mortgages off as tips. He would give $50,000 tips, $100,000 tips. I mean, if you're that kind of a guy where you win something big and all of a sudden you're tipping that big, of course that's not a great, ending to your story, my friend. And he acknowledges this. They ask him, if you were to go back, do you regret what you did? He said, hell yeah, I do. I regret it. He lost his empire. He lost his everything he built up. He sold that business for $500 million and lost it all. And now he's living a regular life. According to him, he's just making things work. Doesn't gamble anymore. So it's just a fascinating life story. I would love to sit down with Terrance Watanabe. I think that a lot of people could learn from this. A lot of people, especially youngsters, that you see them out of control. Boom, they got money right now. They can do anything in Vegas. They can just flashing cash. And some, according to them, are gambling their mortgage away or their rent money away. Like, what are you doing, guys? Learn from Mr. Watanabe. He had the ultimate amount of money and he lost it all. If he could lose everything, okay? These guys, these bigger slot channels are not immune to this. If he could lose, if some guy that's worth $500 million can lose everything, a guy that's hit multiple jackpots, a guy that's hit money, lived a life, then you're not immune. Be careful, ladies and gentlemen. Some of you guys are really super wealthy and want to try your hand in slots or blackjack. Just be careful. It's a highly addictive thing. Okay, it can make you feel good. According to Terry, he was very aggressive betting on baccarat. They asked him, like, who else was gambling in this high limit sessions with you? What were your bet sizes? $300,000 a hand on baccarat. Do you know what that is? $50,000 a hand on blackjack, playing 3 hands consecutively. I mean, I don't know, man. That kind of money, that just blows my mind. How somebody can lose that kind of money. And then he got into the online thing, the online gambling with his phone. He lost a lot of money there, 20 million, 30 million. He liked the fact that, hey, when he won online, and this is where they got him, his first time he tried online gambling, he won like $30,000, and then he cashed out, and he was so amazed that they paid him the next day on his account that he got hooked. He lost 20 to $50 million gambling online on his phone. And then the casinos, he was the very important person at Caesars in Las Vegas. Imagine, man. Imagine. This guy made that casino rich. I mean, that's a lot of money, man. That's an empire. And now when you ask him, do you regret what you've done? It's like, yeah, I do. I regret what I've done. It was just being able to do things that, having the power to be pampered, having the power to just be a very important person. He was filling the void of what he didn't have in his real life. I'm sure if he had a significant other that, hey, tell him, or a friend that tell him, hey, I think you should just stop. He might have changed his ways, but he didn't have that. So he escaped the reality of life, went to the casino. That gave him power. That gave him special treatment. That made him feel the things that he was missing in life. The comforts, the excess, the gifts. I mean, I could only imagine what Terry Watanabe was just living life. But then he woke up one day and everything was gone. Spiraling out of control, man. If you lose that kind of money, you just want it back. You go and you dump more, you dump more, you dump more. It's like an avalanche. This thing is just out of control. There's no stop. There's no way of stopping this hurricane, this avalanche that's coming down and destroying his life. He's losing. When you lose big money like that, and I can relate because I've lost, not that big, but I mean, I've lost 5 figures sometimes, one or twice in my life. And it wasn't really good in one day, it wasn't really good. A good feeling. I felt like crap. But one thing that was very, very eye-opening for me in this interview of Terry was that, he said something like, money was always accessible for me in life. At that time when he sold his business and when he was successful in this business that he ran, money was not an issue for him. It was always accessible. If he needed $100,000, he can get it. If he needed, whatever, he can buy whatever he wanted. It was never an issue. When you grow up in that type of environment where money is just, accessible at all times, and all of a sudden it's not, all of a sudden you wake up one day and you lose everything you have, that is a slap. That is a wake-up call. That is terrible. And growing up like that, where money was not an issue, he always thought that he would have the money. He would always have that money to gamble because it made him feel good. It made him feel good. The casinos would treat him like a king, lying to his face, making him feel so special. I mean, he's probably not even saying half of the story because he can't, but I can imagine a day in the life of Terry Watanabe, what that entailed. Drugs, cocaine, women, all the excesses that you can think about, money in the bank, gambling. Is that much access and fun normal in a human? No. Everything in moderation. I always say that, everything in moderation. When things go overboard, it's hard to dial it back. It's hard to control. When you go and gamble at a slot machine and you're used to making $100 spins, can you dial it back to $2.50? Think about it. You're used to $5 spins. Can you bet 50 cents? It's really hard to adjust, right? I've adjusted. It was hard for me to adjust doing high roller $25 spin status to all of a sudden betting $1, $2, $5 spins. I know how that feels. Now, multiply that by 100 times, betting $50,000 on a blackjack hand, betting $300,000 on a baccarat hand. There's no way out unless you quit, unless you walk away, unless you just realize, hey, I got to invest this money, man, or else I'm going to lose it all. Now, this brings me back to what I said I was going to talk about at the beginning of the video, what he should have done. There was a way of him, poor management, no advice when he sold the business, no financial advice. Easily, Terry Watanabe, easily, and he admits this too. He could have easily invested all that capital, all that money he made selling the business, and even before that, working. But when he sold the business for $500 million, $500 million, you know what that is? Enough money for you, your kids, kids, generational wealth, man. If financed correct, if invested correctly, that's enough money to live on for generations and still have money for all the fun. What am I getting at? Guys, think about it. He even said this. Had he had smart people around him, he would have invested that sale into investments. And from the interest of all the investments that he could have made, took that investment, all the interest, and gambled that, and still have that investment, still be wealthy, still have all these investments where he could make money on, and use the interest from all the money he'd making to gambling. He would have still have that $500 million in investments. But he didn't. He didn't have smart people around him. So what does that tell you? That tells you that, hey, you can dump all that money. You just have to be smart about it, man. This is a sad story. Terry, I feel you, man. I mean, the thing that he can do right now, and he's probably doing, is just sharing his life story, because what a story. What a story here, guys. He can share what he lived through for younger generations to not repeat what he's done. What did he do? He sold the business, went to Vegas, thought he had all this money, but he lost it instead of investing it in businesses, instead of investing it, stock market, safe stocks, Coca-Cola. There's a lot of ways you could invest it. Property, buy buildings, whatever. I mean, the guy could have invested that money. Right now, he would have been worth double, triple, and live off the interest. That's a lot of interest he could have made. But no, he didn't. He went and gambled everything away. It's gone. And now he lives a regular lifestyle, like you and me. Having all that money and lost it, it's just painful to even think. I always say this when I go to a casino. I say, let's say I'm taking $1,000, right? If I'm going to lose that day, I'd rather just straight lose it and never be up, never hit a jackpot, and then lose the jackpot and lose my pocket money. Okay, I'd rather just lose and not ever be up that day. Because it just feels worse when you hit a jackpot. When you hit something, you're up, big money, then you never leave. You lose that and your pocket money. That feels 100 times worse than versus like not getting the jackpot and just downhill. His life story is that 1 million times. It's really sad, man. Terry, I wish you all the best. And I think about your story a lot. One of the gambling stories that I heard that really made me just listen and visualize how that could feel in life. I could just imagine what you've been through. Now, having said all this, if you ask him, there are things about his story that he doesn't take back. he had a great time, Does he regret some of his actions? Of course. But I'm sure he had a great time. He's seen things that people just dream of going through. They dream of being in that scenario. We all dream of betting $50,000 blackjack hands and winning. I'm sure he's had a lot of winning days. Those 2 jackpots that he said he won, 2 slot progressive, $2.7 million each. Can you imagine just hitting that? I mean, yeah, he's been through some good times too. All the women, the alcohol. He was into alcohol, alcoholic, drug addict. That's a downfall. That's a sign of like, hey, you're gonna destroy your life here. No amount of money can stop you from destroying everything you have. And he is a true testament to what I'm talking about. So treat this as a wake-up call, guys. At your own life, Of course, you can look and learn from what he's been through and apply it to your life. Of course, at a smaller level, but we can all apply this lesson. We can learn from this lesson from Terry Watanabe. So, from 2007, I think his gambling was from 2007 to 2015, something like that. He was never too close to his mother. His siblings, I think he was the older of siblings, where they did not know about his, extracurricular activities. He was supposedly not too close with them. He never had a family of his own, so he was always, his family was in Vegas. His family was gambling at a casino. Very sad story, guys. Terry Watanabe, I wish you all the best. You can turn this around, and you are, by sharing your story. And people could really learn from your experience here. The good can come out of all this money lost. And that's what I'm trying to do here too. I'm trying to share this information to my viewers, or to anybody that will come across this video, and to tell your life story, because it's worth telling. It is worth listening to. It is worth experiencing, learning from. Anybody that likes content on YouTube, gambling content, anybody that likes going to casinos, playing the slots, baccarat, blackjack, they really need to hear this story. They really need to learn from it. A very important lesson here for anybody that gambles, anybody that plays, even for entertainment, because this can spiral out of control. I can relate to Terry's story on a very small level. I can relate. The saddest thing about this is that he could have invested the money and still be gambling right now, like many have done. Dana White, just to name a few. Successful businessman, but I'm sure he has investments. Back in the day, we didn't have a lot of information on YouTube. The internet was just getting started. Well, it was already started, but the information wasn't rarely available to people that wanted to make investments, that didn't know about it. So different time we were living in the past. But having said that, there was always financial advisors. He just didn't surround himself with people that really cared about him. He probably had trust issues too. So I can imagine how many people try to take advantage of him while he was high rolling. When you're high rolling, guys, have you noticed that a lot of people want to be around you? A lot of people want to be your friend, because you might kicking down some, and I'm sure he's kicking down a lot. I could just imagine how many people benefited from being around Terry. I could just imagine it. When I'm playing $1,000, when I see me winning like maybe 200, 300, I see people gathering and starting to cheer me on and want to be part of that action. And that's winning $200, $300, $500. Can you imagine at his level what kind of attention he would draw? The cute women, the opportunists, the people that wanted to take advantage of him. And being in that situation where you're like at a table betting that much money, You're looking for support. You're looking for a cheering section. You're looking for cheerleaders. You're looking for beautiful people around you so you don't feel as bad if you lose. Hey, it's support. They're supporting you. They don't care about this guy. They want to benefit. They want something out of it. Money, tips, whatever. I could just imagine how many opportunistic people would surround Terry and he would just fall prey to these people around him at casinos. Because casinos, man, they attract good people, but they also attract people with bad intentions. And that's very important for you to know this. Casinos can attract people with bad intentions. I don't know if casinos are cracking down on this, but there's a lot of people there that want to take advantage of you because, hey, you got money, you're gambling, and they might just scam you out of whatever you're doing there. So whether it's cheering you on, whether it's this, that, trying to befriend you, I'm sure he had many fake friends that surrounded him and he would actually take care of them, so only he knows what he's been through, but losing $350 million, losing $350 million just like that in a matter of, a decade or whatever it was, 2 decades, is not easy to do. And that is just so painful where he could have just made investments, still be gambling right now and still have his empire. But he just didn't do that. He lost everything. We can really learn from this, guys. All the guys flashing cash at casinos, the youngsters especially, they really are out of control. And they're that avalanche that's forming. No one is immune to what Terry's been through. If you're not careful, you can lose control quick. I don't care who you are, man. That gambling bug kicks in, it'll get you. It'll get you, and before you know it, you lost everything. So I'm continuing to spread the message here on Storytime Slots. That's the whole point of this video, to tell Terry's story. For those that don't know who Terry Watanabe is, now you know. Look him up. It's just fascinating, true story, true gambling story that I'll learn. That I just was like glued to the television when I heard about him. And I really felt sadness. I really felt something for the guy. Like I said, we can turn this into a learning experience. A lot of good could come from his misery. A lot of good could come from his losses. So, anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've heard of Terry. Let me know how this actually makes you feel moving forward. We can learn from this. We can be careful. We can invest our money instead of blowing it at casinos. If you ever come across a big windfall like this, don't run to the casino, guys. Don't run to the casino. If you're going to do that, do it after you've invested your money. If you ever win the lotto, if you ever sell something, if you ever receive a big inheritance that you weren't expecting, okay? People that have never received that much money in their lives, they are prone to blow it up because they've never managed that kind of money in their lives. It's tough. You can blow it up. And it's not hard to lose money. Especially this day and age where you look at social media and everybody's just flashing cash, flashing the Bugattis, the Ferraris. You ever heard the term act as if? A lot of people online, they're acting as if they're somebody. They're not. Okay? I'll just put it out there, guys. You think they're multimillionaires? You got another thing coming, guys. No, they're acting as if they are. What happened to Belzerian? Dan. Turns out he was renting that house, that $30 million mansion. It wasn't his. There's a lot of people that act as if they're this rich person. They rent a Ferrari, act as if it's their Ferrari. It's not. Rent a yacht, pretend they're very, very wealthy to further their social status. You got to be aware of that, guys. Please. I'm not saying everybody's like that. I can pretty much tell who's faking it out there and who's real. Just be aware of that. That's all I'm saying. Don't get influenced thinking you're going to do this and be that person. Because it's harder than it looks. And some of it is fake. Okay, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Like, subscribe, and share this video out to your gambling friends that are somewhat kind of out of control. Because you're not immune. No matter how much money you have, go invest that millions. Go do something with it. If you want to gamble with the dividends, if you want to gamble with the interest made and never touch the principal, learn from this story. All right? That's what I would do. 100%. If I ever win the mega, I'm investing that. I'm not going to the casino and blowing it. I might take a couple of thousand to celebrate, but I'm investing that cash. And that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. This is Storytime Slots. I'm your host, Vahagan. Go out there, rock and roll, gamble, responsibly, treat it as entertainment, and always have fun. And be mindful of everything I said. All right? Thanks for watching. Give me one of these and rock and roll.